Hello everybody, my name is Gabby Turner. Welcome to this reading. Today we're going to be asking, what are you neglecting that is needing your attention? And I am going to be using a lot of decks that I don't normally use, so to fit the theme of something that's been neglected. So we have 6 reading options here. I'm using these crystal cards to help you pick if using something visual helps you to get in touch with your intuition more. But I encourage you to get in touch with your intuition in whichever way works best for you. What I normally do, what seems to work best for me but may not work for you, is when I'm watching a pick a card, I will draw tarot cards, one card for each of the options. And if a major arcana card comes up for any of the options, then I assume that that is a pertinent message for me. And if there are multiple major arcana cards and I'm like, well, I don't want to watch that many readings, which one is the most resonating with me? Then I'll pull another tarot card for each of those options that originally had a major arcana. And if the second time around any of those have a major arcana again, then it's definitely going to be a strong message. If there aren't any major arcana cards coming up the second time, then whichever card is the highest hierarchically. So court cards are higher than pip cards, etc. A 10 of cups is higher than a 3 of cups, for example. So that's something that works for me, but it may not work for everybody. And if you want to try that and you don't have a physical tarot deck, there are lots of free tarot reading apps. You just want to make sure you're getting one that has all 78 cards, because there are some apps where they just have the major arcana cards. And of course, that's not going to help you with this particular process that I described. But so anyway, so yes, there are 6 options here, and I'll tell you what the stones are. Also, I just want to say, if you're new to my channel, I'm so glad to have you. Thank you for stopping by. And if you're a returning viewer, I'm very glad to have you watching more of my videos, and I'm glad that you have been enjoying them. So option number 1, and all of the timestamps are going to be below. Option number 1 is Larimar. Number 2 is Shiva Lingam. Number 3 is Bismuth. Number 4 is Pyrite. Number 5 is Chrysoprase. And number 6 is Sodalite. All very beautiful, unique stones. So take a moment to decide, and I will see you at your timestamp. All right, welcome to everyone who chose reading number 1, which was the beautiful Larimar. So we have a lot of cards here, so I'm not even sure what's going to come up. I feel like this is going to be an interesting reading, so we'll just see where it goes. We have some tea leaf cards coming out first. I don't know why I don't use these very often, but I don't feel called to use them very much, I guess. Okay, so we have Angel, Scissors, and Cup. Spiritual guidance, protection from harm, disappointment in some affair. You should accept valid criticism. Okay, so what are you neglecting? I feel like someone is really trying to offer you some sort of guidance, and they're really coming from the best place. They might be trying to give you some sort of guidance or advice regarding some area of your life that's been very disappointing. And you might be seeing their guidance as criticism. And so you're like pushing it away, and you're like, well, I don't really want to listen to what you have to say because it feels like criticism. And maybe that's, because this person isn't expressing themselves adequately. But I do genuinely feel like this person is coming from a good place, whoever this is. Let's see if we can get more insight into that. This is the New Era Elements Tarot deck. Now, I actually do really like this deck, so I think it just got kind of lost or hidden under a bunch of other decks. It's a really cool deck. I can't find the book to it, and I don't normally use the book when it comes to tarot, but for this deck, the book actually has some really helpful insights. And this is just a Sherlock Holmes playing card deck that I'm using as sort of an oracle. Okay, so we have the universe, which is the same as the world card. We have 4 of earth, which is stability. I believe that's earth. They use the symbols for the elements in this deck, and I don't have the book to remind myself. I think this is earth, though. And then we have the son of fire. So, yes, somebody wants to, somebody is communicating something to you because they want you to be more stable and they want you to be happier, but I feel like you're just not receiving them well. Maybe it's coming across as they're being a little too honest in a way that feels like criticism. This Sherlock Holmes, it's the 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Diamonds. You have brought detection as near an exact science as it ever will be brought in this world. A study in scarlet. I feel like this person really does have a very clear insight into what's going on in your life. But it's almost like it just feels uncomfortable. You know, you're just resisting it right now. This is the Golden Tarot of Klimt. We have the 4 of Swords, the Moon, and I guess I only pulled 2 cards from that deck. So I think we're moving on to something else that you're neglecting. So the first thing was you're just neglecting some sort of wise advice that someone is trying to give because it's coming across as criticism. So I feel like your guides want you to be a little bit more open to that. Try not to see it as criticism, even if it feels that way. It's not intended to be. Some of you may have even gotten some sort of psychic reading or a message from your spirit guides that felt critical. And in that case as well, it's sort of like it wasn't meant to be critical. It wasn't meant to be judgmental. It was meant to be loving and in supportive of your happiness. So just know that the criticism, even though it was a felt emotion, that wasn't the intention of the person trying to give you guidance. Now with 4 of Swords and the Moon, I feel like what you maybe have been neglecting is sleep. You haven't been resting enough, or you haven't been getting like really good sleep. Is there anything else to say? I'm going to use the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot just to clarify this. I mean, I use this deck all the time, but you're neglecting sleep. Yeah, so the message is, you know, like if you want to, basically, if you want to live a long and happy life, it feels like your energy gets depleted a lot. And sometimes it makes you a little bit cranky, or maybe it makes you feel judged because you're not getting enough rest. And for some of you, it could be physical rest. For some of you as well, it could be resting your mind, like engaging more in meditation so you can give your mind a rest so that your mind isn't jumping to these conclusions that people are trying to criticize you or one-up you. It could be that there's a little bit of a sense of paranoia because you need to engage more in meditation. Or physical sleep. You know, that was the initial message that I got, and if that's true for you, I think that you'll know very well that you have been neglecting that. And it just isn't in your interest in terms of your overall long-term health to continue to do that. It's going to build up. And it's going to, even if it's not causing significant problems now, at some point you will definitely notice the effects that continuing to neglect your sleep will bring you. So, what else? We have loving words. Yeah. Okay. This is the Affirmators Family deck. I can think of something kind to say about any or all of my relatives, and I dole those loving words out left and right. From what a nice dress to what courageous musical taste, I'm sharing them freely. If I don't, I'm depriving great people of hearing nice compliments, and also I might not get as good a gift from them this year. That's so true. Yeah, so again, it's like loving words. You're neglecting this understanding that people are trying to give you loving words. And for some of you, it could also be saying that you need to be giving loving words more often as well. But I think because we've already gotten this message before, for a lot of you, it's more like, you need to see more clearly that the words that are being given to you are, in fact, loving words. They're not critical words. Now, maybe people can't always put things in the right wording so that it seems validating, because we're not all excellent communicators as far as that goes. But I feel like someone in your life is really trying to show up as this loving, angelic, I want to help you. I want you to be happier. I want to help you succeed in life. And it's just not hitting you the right way. So that doesn't mean that you have to take their advice. But I feel like the message here of the reading is to be more open to the idea that this person actually could be working in your best interest, even though it doesn't really feel that way. And this is, I just recently got this. This is the Adinkra Oracle Cards deck by Ship Sud. One of my subscribers, Ship Sud, she made this deck and sent it to me. And I just haven't used it much, only because it's just very new to me. But she has these Adinkra symbols and a message on the front and back. It says, a symbol of loyalty and priestly office. You are in good hand and divinely guided. This path is destined for you. Yes. Somebody is providing really good guidance to you, but you're pushing it back. I mean, we just keep getting that message here over and over. And we get the Four of Wands. This is a steampunk tarot deck. I can't remember the full name of it. There's a different steampunk tarot that I like better than this, but this does have some interesting images. Four of Wands, the High Priestess, and the Eight of, I think this is the Eight of Pentacles. So what are you neglecting? Let me look at this for a moment. All right, I adjusted the camera so that you could see the cards a little bit better, and I also went ahead and pulled this final card out. This is from the Saints and Mystics Oracle cards. So I think that it is, what it's saying is finally what you're neglecting is that you're meant to be on some sort of journey of creation. There's some life purpose that your intuition is trying to nudge you towards, like something you're supposed to step into or step more fully into in terms of like a life purpose journey, which is some sort of act of creation, something you're meant to create or do. I feel that your intuition is already telling you that you're meant to do that, and you're pushing away that intuitive nudge as well. All right, and I want to sum up by reading, for this Divine Creation Joseph card, just a couple of the oracle meanings that I felt like really were most pertinent to what we'd already picked up just now about that there's something you're meant to be creating. Of course, if you want to read the whole thing, you can pause and read all of it. But it says, emotionally, Saint Joseph teaches us to realize our life and our purpose, comforting you with knowledge of your own meaning in the world and the courage to grow and succeed. Where there is a door shut, Joseph will build you a ladder to get through the open window. So if you feel blocked in regards to some sort of life purpose, journey that you know that you're meant to take, something that you're supposed to create or do or manifest in the world, Joseph can help you get through that window and understand that there are still ways to succeed with this, even though it may feel that you're blocked in some way. Consciously, St. Joseph leads with an empty mind, free of judgment and fear. He teaches the way of love and acceptance, knowing well the luminous divine spirit that resides in every living being. He shares secret skills and creative solutions to tricky situations, encouraging further learning and opening the mind's door to successful mastery. Yeah, there's some sort of craft, some sort of skill that you have that needs to be mastered and improved upon you're already naturally very talented at it, and you need to direct more energy towards that because that's going to help you fulfill a very important aspect of your life purpose, I feel like. So for those of you who chose reading number 1, I really hope that that was helpful and insightful. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hello to everybody who chose reading number 2, which was the Shiva Lingam. So let's just see what's going on here. What have you been neglecting that you need to give some attention to? So we have the Weeping Willow, family sorrow. We have the Elephant. A long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. And we have the Rat, someone working against you behind your back. Now, to me, the Elephant is also symbolic of family issues and family units, because elephants are such family-oriented animals. Also, like generational, you know, not just the nuclear family, but also like grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, like you know, the generations, grandchildren. So what have you been neglecting? There's something going on in your family life that is causing a lot of sorrow. And it could be because someone in the family is just not being very nice. Someone's being a bit of a rat here. And actually, one of the other decks is a family-oriented deck. It's the Affirmator's Family deck. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull that card out that I pulled for your stack as well to see if that gives us a little bit of a better insight into what's going on in your family that you've been neglecting. And it says, I remember where I came from, for better or for worse, and am grateful for the person I've become, either because of or despite my upbringing. As I move through life, I keep growing and changing, but I can't marvel at the magnitude of my journey without reflecting on where it all began. So I feel like basically, you know, the guidance here is you need to pay attention to your roots. We have a tree here on both of these cards that, you know, even if there are some rats in your family that you're like, I just don't even want to deal with you. You know, despite that, there's something good here that needs to be honored or respected. Something about your roots, your family origins. You know, maybe you've neglected to really learn much about your family roots or to think much about it as a whole, because there are these certain people within the family that make you just want to neglect the family as a whole in a way. I'm just going to use some Rider-Waite-Smith to get some more, just kind of flesh out the message a little bit. This is definitely not a deck that I neglect. I use this all the time. But it's great for clarifying messages. So what are you wanting this person to know? Yeah, from the seeds, you know, your family roots, the seed from which you came, basically, is part of what is allowing you to be successful in life. You know, maybe you had a lot of dysfunction or a lot of difficulty in your family growing up, but something even about that allowed you to sort of grow and overcome it. And like it says here, either because of or despite my upbringing, I'm grateful for the person I've become. So as well, you might need to be more grateful about, like, listen, I've come a long way, despite the fact that I didn't always have the most supportive family. So part of it is just also, like, don't neglect your own sense of pride in yourself, you know, like really see how awesome it is that you have gotten to where you're at. Even if it may have been a more difficult struggle to you because of some issues within your family. And be happy with that. Be satisfied with yourself. You may have had family members who just never wanted you to be satisfied or proud of yourself. Okay? But don't neglect that just because these people have sort of planted that message in your head, and maybe that message has taken root in a way that you need to discard of that negative thinking that you're never enough or you should never feel proud of yourself. So yeah, I think a twofold message here. Recognize that there is some sort of good to be respected. There are family members who I think that you should sort of honor and respect, or something about your lineage that if you really look at it, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's what helped to shape me into having those good qualities that I have. That there were some people in my family as well who did have good qualities. And even the ones who were rats, like I can be proud of myself for succeeding despite all of that. So that's the initial message I'm getting. Let's see what else we've got going on here. This is a new Era Elements deck, which I actually do like this deck. I think it just got lost underneath some other decks. So we have the I think it's the Three of Wands. Three of Wands, Son of Water, and the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, I think it's a similar message to what we had before. Like you're neglecting, from childhood, from the childhood that you came out of. You really lifted off. I mean, you had to draw upon so much strength to lift off from this foundation that you were given in life, which was not the best foundation. Your family really didn't give you the best foundation. And yet somehow you lifted off. Still, you found that power within you to lift off like some sort of rocket. And you'll do better than some of these. I'm not saying all of them, but some of these family members just didn't do right by you, and you're going to do better. You're going to be supportive of the family that you create if you decide to create a family. But I think even if you don't have children or anything, you're going to leave an important, lasting legacy that will benefit many people. And that's something to feel so proud of, because you had to come from from such difficult circumstances in order to do that. So this is a Sherlock Holmes playing deck. We have the Nine of Clubs, which is like the Nine of Wands. I am a brain, Watson. The rest of me is mere appendix. The Adventures of the Mazarin Stone. So you might be someone who could be a little bit overly focused on just logic, or overly focused on intellect, and it could be that you're neglecting the rest of you. It's maybe it's more important to you about your intellectual or philosophical pursuits than the other areas of your life. Something like that. I'm going to clarify that one as well. What's this trying to tell us? There's something about, you have put a lot of effort into achieving happiness in life. And I think your logical mind has maybe led you to believe that maybe happiness isn't possible, or that there's always going to be someone who comes along and tries to pull the rug out from under you because you've experienced these rats, people working against you, even within your own family. You've seen that happen. So it's sort of like, don't just let your mind dictate to you whether or not happiness is possible. Yeah. Don't let your mind hold you back, basically. From anything. From happiness, from continuing to doggedly pursue your goals, even though it might feel like it requires a lot of patience sometimes. Don't let your mental anxiety get in the way of continuing on, continuing this dedicated effort that you've been applying to your life in order to achieve greater happiness. Next we have from the Golden Tarot of Klimt, we have the Seven of Cups, the Knave of Swords, and then I've got this from this beautiful, the only reason I haven't used this much is because it's new to me. One of my viewers, Ship, sent this to me. It's the Adinkra Oracle cards, and they're so pretty. And this one says, God's tree, sacred stump, a symbol of God's presence and protection. You are protected and surrounded by your angels and spirit guides. It is time for wish fulfillments. Oh, nice. Yeah, I feel like you're emotionally, your energy has been very scattered as it relates to feeling like you always need to protect yourself. I think you struggle with a feeling that you are emotionally protected. And again, it could just go back to this. There have been a lot of rats that you've dealt with in life, people who have done you wrong. I feel like you want to feel like there is like some sort of spirit guide presence. But sometimes maybe you don't even trust spirit guides, you know? Some of you feel like if I try to connect more to spirit guides and things like that, maybe I'll open myself up to negative forces. So I think the message is don't neglect to continue to try to connect with these benevolent spirit guides who are, here in support of you, because you are protected and surrounded by your angels and guides. It's time for your wish fulfillment. It's time for you to accept the support that's being offered. Let go of that fear. Let go of those mental entrapments that are holding you back from pursuing everything that you deserve in life. And this is from a steampunk tarot deck. I don't remember the full name of it. There are 2 steampunk decks that I know of. I have the other one as well, which I prefer. But this one does have some interesting images. So we get the 9 of Leviathans, which is like pentacles, I think. 7 of airships, which is like swords. And the Moon Voyage, which is the moon. So what is this person neglecting? Let me see. It feels like it is, just continuing to support this message of you deserve a good life. You deserve a beautiful journey in life. But sometimes you feel so suspicious or paranoid of other people's intentions, and it blocks you at times. So they're saying don't neglect to take the full voyage of your life, of your soul's journey in this life. And I also feel the message of don't neglect your emotions, because if you have difficult emotions of resentment or suspicion, paranoia, don't neglect that. Go further into it and see what it's trying to tell you rather than allowing it to block your life. View it as an opportunity to understand your life more fully. Why am I feeling this way? What is this emotion? What is this anxious thought really trying to lead me to? Because ultimately, I deserve a happy, healthy, established life, a life of safety, a life of fulfillment, a life of pursuing all of the beautiful opportunities that are presented to me without anything holding me back, without any feeling of shame or fear or unworthiness. So when those feelings arise that keep me pursuing this life well lived that I know that I deserve, What can those feelings and thoughts tell me? Instead of allowing them to block me from living the life well deserved, what can I learn if I go more fully into those emotions and those thoughts? Can I process them a little bit? Can I understand what's going on so that I can release them so that they won't have so much control over me anymore? All right, so let's get your final message. This final card is from the Saints and Mystics Oracle deck, and it's a nice deck. I don't know why I don't use it very much, but we have St. Francis healing. So yeah, I feel like there is a lot of healing that still needs to be taken place for you because of it's a lot about the family origins. And I don't know about you, but I've had a dysfunctional childhood as well. And sometimes I wonder, I'm like, shouldn't I be over this by now, But I feel like that thought in and of itself, that I shouldn't have to, this shouldn't be bothering me anymore. Like, that's not a very helpful or self-loving thought either, because, when we're children, those are the most impactful years of our life in terms of our development. So if we experience a lot of dysfunction or trauma in our childhood, even if we've improved our own circumstances, even if we're not interacting with our family, it's that those wounds are still there if they haven't been fully healed. So let me look and see in the book itself if there's more of a message for you as well. All right, so I'm going to read this oracle meaning for emotionally and consciously. If you want to read the rest of this for yourself, you can pause and read that. If you're watching it in high definition, you should be able to see the words pretty well. So I do feel like this card is really pertinent to what we've been discussing here. Emotionally, St. Francis of Assisi shows us how to learn to love through unexpected ways and to encourage calm and peaceful resolution to arguments made with others. It is time to take off the mask to unveil your true self, naked of social constructs, and to bear your soul's light to shine. So if there have been issues or conflict or disagreement within the family about what you're meant to do with your life even, this is a message, to let go of that and just shine and be your true self, because your soul is meant to shine. You're meant to live this good life. And in terms of, let's just read this part. Consciously, you are brought to awareness of the importance of creating a sacred space in your environment and to pay attention to the way you are living your life. Are you still holding others on the cross for wrongs done to you in the past? Have you forgiven, loved, and let go? Your choices in life matter, and your soul's vibration in light matters that much more. So I really feel like, forgiveness is a difficult thing. And there are some things, if you've experienced abuse or anything like that, I don't think that your guides are telling you that you have to rush towards forgiveness when it's something that's been that difficult. I think it's more about, just going at your own pace, but realizing that maybe you're holding yourself on the cross, like people have done wrong to you, but that doesn't mean that you need to be held up in life. That when we hold these negative emotions towards other people, the most important thing that you need to know is like that could be holding you back. It's what they say, like forgiveness isn't for the person that you're forgiving. The forgiveness is for you. At the same time, you have to take care of yourself. Creating a space, I think maybe it's creating a space in your home, but it's like anything that has to do with healing, you need to heal. If you ever are going to feel comfortable forgiving, you really first need to focus on healing yourself. It isn't about doing for the other person or making them feel okay about the wrongs that were done to you in the past. It's about you coming to feel okay with yourself, despite the fact that someone has really hurt you in your childhood, I feel like. Maybe you have family members who even continue to hurt you in your adulthood. And you need healing. I personally have benefited a lot from therapy, and I highly recommend it. But whatever it is, you need to approach some sort of healing for yourself, and only you can know exactly what's going to work best for you. I keep getting a feeling for you guys, maybe spending time in nature would be very healing. Connecting with animals, because St. Francis speaks to that. So if you have a pet, I think that's very healing for you, like having that, because it's easy to unconditionally love a pet. Even if pets misbehave, like it's easier to forgive them than it is other humans when they do wrong. And usually our pets, they're just acting out of a lack of, awareness. But it's harder to forgive humans because we know that they're making choices and that they should really know better. But yeah, whatever it is for you, like your healing is really the most important thing right now. And that may be the thing that you are neglecting the most. Even if you've been working on healing, your guides really want to encourage you to go further with that. So if you're already going to therapy, for example, what else can you do? What else can you do that would be healing? Spending time in nature, journaling, meditating, getting Reiki. For everyone watching this, it's going to be a little different because we're all unique. But definitely don't neglect yourself. You deserve to be happy and whole and to feel safe and secure in the world, despite the fact that you had so much disruption in your life that makes it more difficult for you. But it's not impossible. And the more you can heal yourself, the more you'll start to see the fullness of your life really being fulfilled in like miraculous and beautiful ways. All right, so let me finish up with, let's look at the Shiva Lingam card and see what this says. Go all in on your essence. When to use it? When your ego has you feeling too small or totally supersized. I feel you guys probably tend to feel too small. When it seems like you're sucking life force through a swizzle stick instead of a boba straw. When you've got baby making on your mind. Yeah, so if some of you, despite your own upbringing, you still want to have children, but you're like, damn, how can I have kids when, like I had such a difficult experience? Like, am I going to be able to do a good job? Maybe even get a Shiva Lingam stone if you're someone who really likes working with stones and crystals. But yeah, like you really need, like your soul is being neglected in a sense because it wants to be seen. It wants to shine. It wants, it just wants to be free. And you've had a lot of experiences in life which have left you feeling very small and have left you feeling like you need to stay small and to hide that light. And your guides are saying, it's time to shine. It's time to shine. We need you. We need your essence in the world. The world will be a better place the more you can let us see who you are. Well, I hope that was a really helpful message. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. All right, everybody, welcome for those of you who chose reading number 3, which was the bismuth. Yeah. So let's see what it is you've been neglecting. And we have December, Dark Man, and Feather. Okay. Someone you know is undependable and insincere. So maybe there is a particular man in your life and something significant happened in December, or there's a connection to December. Maybe this person's birthday is in December, or you met in December. And you have been feeling like this person is not dependable and that they're insincere. There's some sort of issue with this man. So I don't feel like it's that you're neglecting this man. I think that you might be neglecting something related to how you're dealing with this man. So maybe you're neglecting your own emotions about it or something. I'm going to pull some clarifying tarot cards. Now, in the intro, I said that I'm using decks today that I don't normally use. This is the Rider-Waite-Smith, which I use all the time, but just for the clarifying, this is a great deck to use, so that's what I'm going to do. So what is the viewer of number 3 neglecting regarding this man? Definitely there's some sort of issues of toxicity, maybe codependence with this person, people staying connected to each other maybe for the wrong reasons. I think there's an issue of maybe being afraid to move forward or not really knowing what steps to take to move forward. Something about your connection with this person has inspired fear or insecurity with you. Yeah. You definitely have, I think, had some sort of anxiety or suspicion regarding this person. There might be a little bit of a feeling of being trapped. Maybe you're not knowing how to move on from this person or something like that. I think that you both have very strong, whether you're a female or a male or not, both of you have strong sort of masculine energy. If you're a woman, you know, you have sort of like certain masculine traits in your personality. Like you're not afraid to speak your mind. You're not afraid to be opinionated, things like that. This person also, I think, is sort of like, you know, they like to be very rigid and sort of have control over their life and things like that. I think both of you have struggled with a sense of loneliness at some level. And you might both be seeking a relationship, seeking the right relationship, but maybe not having as much progress as you're wanting. So it could be that the two of you are a little bit, in a way, sort of drawn to each other, really out of a desire to step out of this feeling of loneliness. But it may not be actually the best relationship for you. Whether this is a romantic relationship or a friendship or whatever, it may not actually be a very healthy attachment because it's more about based in I need to not feel so lonely. Because the Knight of Pentacles and the Hermit are both very single energies. They're both people who are like spending a lot of time alone. And they're in a reversal. So I think you both are blocking the blessings of maybe your single life. You're blocking or neglecting perhaps the abundance that you could find, the wisdom that you could find within those moments of being single or being on your own in some way. And instead of trying to grasp onto this person or them grasping onto you, because you're scared of this aloneness, I feel like what you're embracing is the gift of being alone, that you can find your whole self. You can find that you are whole and complete. You can take this time to really look within and get to know yourself better. And I also feel like, in a way, you know, Wheel of Fortune and Lover's card reversed, by continuing to try to use this not so healthy attachment that the two of you have with each other to avoid these feelings of loneliness or isolation, it's actually causing you to neglect better opportunities for a healthy, functional romantic relationship that wouldn't be based in codependence. So You know, codependence just meaning we cling to someone basically out of fear. A fear of being alone. A fear that this is the best we can get. You know, it can be a lot of things. So that's the initial message I'm getting here. Let's look at your other cards and see what else comes up. From the New Era Elements Tarot deck, we have Seven of Cups, I think. Deception. No, it's not Seven of Cups. Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords. We have the Father of Earth, which is like the King of Pentacles. And then the Nine of Pentacles. Maybe this is the Seven of Cups. I don't think it is, though. Seven of Swords. Anyway, I'm confusing myself. They have these little symbols on here for the elements, and I can't ever remember what there are only 4 of them for each. You'd think I could remember them, but I can't. So anyway, I think this is probably Seven of Swords because it's this astrological association is Moon in Aquarius. And I know that Seven of Cups is related to Venus and Scorpio. So this is probably Seven of Swords. Okay. So Nine of Pentacles is showing up a second time. Like, I feel like we're still looking at the same situation here in terms of neglect. I feel like you see a lot of good qualities in this person, and you want to think the best of them. And there is a lot of good here with this person. But there's also some sort of deception here. In the book that goes along with this deck, it talks about how there's a certain type of bird that will hop into another bird's nest and pretend to be a baby like this. This is obviously like an adult bird. It's even bigger than the parent bird of the other species, but it's pretending to be a baby so that it can get fed. You know, someone here is being unnecessarily dependent on you because they want to, quote unquote, be fed, and maybe that's feeding their ego. Maybe that's feeding them emotionally so that they don't feel so alone or unloved. But I feel like both of you really need to step away from this because it's sort of like you're neglecting your own sense of self in a way. I think it could be that both of you are sort of deceiving yourself as well about the dysfunctional or the toxic element of this. Because in a lot of ways, it does seem very healthy and safe and secure, and there are definitely elements of that. But that doesn't mean you should blind yourself to the aspects of it that are perhaps a little bit more codependent. Okay, and we have this Sherlock Holmes playing deck card. And this is the Four of Clubs, which is like the Four of Wands. You have a grand gift for silence, Watson. It makes you quite invaluable as a companion. So, yeah, I feel as well like this might be someone who just really wants to be heard, wants to be fed, wants to be paid attention to. And they feel like you're such a gift because you just give that to them without really needing so much in return. This person maybe just talks a lot endlessly, talks about themselves, talk about what's interesting to them, but like they never really let you speak or speak in a really true way about what's really going on with you or about what you really need. And I feel like maybe, if you're honest with yourself, you're not really sure if this person is someone you can really depend on. Maybe you with the deception card in this instance here, maybe you're not sure if you can really trust them. But I think you want to feel like they're trustworthy, because this might be someone who you have relied on to feel like a sense of safety and security. The Emperor and the King of Pentacles those do depict energies of someone who you can rely upon. But I feel like this person sometimes gets so caught up in their own ego gratification that they just want to be heard and they want to be fed, even if it means lying a little bit about what's really going on and pretending like they have a greater need than they really do. You know, it's kind of a way of controlling you. I feel like they're taking the energy of the Emperor and the Father of Earth, which are really, very positive, protective energies, stable, a lot of stability, but they're taking the energy of that and using it in a way that is more like using you for their own gain, in a way, to keep their cup filled, rather than this person probably needs to heal themselves so that their cup isn't like a bottomless pit with a hole in it, This isn't what a true companionship is. Someone for just always being quiet, always being willing to be the listener, to be the giver. That's not what true companionship is. So we have 6 of Cups and the Ace of Swords. Yeah, I was feeling for some of you, this might be a romantic person, but for a lot of you, I think this might relate to your father or grandfather or some sort of father figure. These are both sort of fatherly energies, for one thing. We're definitely talking about a man here. And then the 6 of Cups relates to childhood. And since I was already thinking that, and the Ace of Swords, to me, if I get the Ace of Swords or Justice, it's sort of like a confirmation to me of yes. So yeah, I think for a lot of you, it's your father. Like your father, there's some sort of codependent issue that's happening with your father, and it's keeping you, because I feel like you are actually quite an independent person, Maybe this person also has a need to be needed. Like they want to feel like you can't survive without their material help or something. But you totally can. But in some way or other, I feel like this person, whoever this man is they're not really acting in your best interest. It's not very loving, and it's not necessarily loving towards themselves either. It's just unhealthy. So this is from the Affirmators Family deck, which I don't think I've ever used in a pick a card deck, and that's why I used it. And it's funny because 2 of the readings so far have related specifically to family issues. Or this may be your father, it may be for some of you like a friend or a romantic partner or interest, or someone else, boss, coworker or something. But I think for a lot of you this might be a father. So this says individuality. I delight in being my own person. Yes, you're an individual. You're very independent. You have your own mind about things, which I already said, and you like to express your own opinion and be your own person. You don't like to just be who someone else needs you to be. Nobody likes that. And yet this person, I feel like, is maybe putting you in a position where they act like they need you to do that in order for them to be satisfied. But you don't exist to satisfy someone else's ego. You exist for the greater good of all. You're here to support the greater good of all. You're not here to support someone's ego. That's actually working against the greater good. Anyway, I delight in being my own person, though I'm indelibly connected to my parents, siblings, children, cousins, cats, dogs, sea monkeys. I see the beauty in being my own unique, and sometimes crazy, self. It's all right if my near or far and mostly dear ones don't always understand me. To be honest, I kind of take it as a compliment. So yeah, I really feel like you are neglecting your own needs because this other person keeps making you feel like their needs are more important in some way. Or that it's wrong or you're being a bad person if you pursue your own life interests. We also have, and this is from the Adinkra Oracle cards, and this is just a new deck, which is the only reason I haven't used it so much. I think it's a wonderful deck. And this is, the Adinkra symbol on this particular card is leg of a hen, and it says it's a symbol of nurturing coupled with discipline. Nurturing, compassionate, tender side of a human, parental qualities. Your kids are protected. Yeah, it's sort of like, yeah, I feel like this person, instead of nurturing you in a healthy way, they expect to be nurtured in some sort of way. And if you continue, it's sort of like if you continue to allow them to do that, you're neglecting allowing them to learn how to be a better parent, basically, or a better person if it's not your parent. And this is from one of the steampunk decks. I don't remember the exact name of it. So you have the Three of Cups, the Seven of Wands, and the World card, which is called the Cosmic Blueprint. I feel like, you love this person, but you love other people too. And it can't just always be about them. And I just feel like, this is also someone, whoever this is probably someone who kind of builds you up. Like we see this statue here, like they build you up in a way, put you on a pedestal in a sense. But it's only in an attempt to control you. Maybe they give to you financially. They do something for you, but it's not really in the intention of supporting you. It's in the intention of kind of keeping you under control. Like this person is at the controls here. And I feel like if it benefits them, they try to get other people to also build you up and put you on a pedestal. But if you're not giving to them what they want, this is someone who will do the opposite and try to get other people to turn against you. Maybe as a form of punishment that you didn't fulfill that ego need that they felt like it was your job to fulfill, but it is not. So with the Cosmic Blueprint card, I do feel like this is probably some sort of soul contract, that the two of you did agree to work through these issues. And it's like when you see the mechanisms inside of the clockwork, you can understand more what's going on so that you're not so controlled by the movements of this. If something's broken, but you can kind of look inside and see what's broken, then you can fix it. And so I think just, keeping an awareness of there are maybe some toxic, dysfunctional elements, dynamics to this relationship, and it's not helping me to turn a blind eye to that, basically. So your final card is from the Saints and Mystics deck, and it's Nostradamus Premonitions. Let me get out the book for that. All right, so this book gives 3 different oracle meanings: emotionally, spiritually, and consciously. I'm going to read the consciously one because I feel like that's the one that most relates to your reading so far. But if you want to pause the video and read everything here, of course you can. But it says, consciously, Nostradamus reminds us of our collective connection within the grand design of the world, from all its esoteric knowledge in past history to our currently unfolding time. Like we talked about here with this, the unfoldment of time, the clockwork, the karma that's being worked out, the spiritual lessons that are being worked out. He reminds of the importance of being still and present in all moments, calm or chaos. And then I like this quote here at the bottom for you guys. The body without soul shall be scarified no more, its day of death set at hour of birth. The spirit divine will make the joyful soul, seeing the world in its eternity. So if someone is, so divorced from their soul that they completely lack empathy and then they just use other people, maybe that's what's going on here. Maybe it's a less severe form of that. But it's basically saying if that's what that soul is choosing to experience in this particular lifetime, then this person's whole life is going to be like a death. They're never going to experience any sort of joy in life. And although it can be very difficult to heal from people who use other people in that way, it's so nefarious, because I feel like this person, they do on the surface act like they're being protective or they're being generous or something like that, or they're love bombing you or something. And so on the surface at times it really feels like they're doing it because they really mean it. And maybe sometimes they do, but what I'm picking up on here is that there are a lot of times when that's not really the intention, that's not really the reason that they're doing that. And I think once you start to see it and it becomes more clear that someone is doing that, someone who you might have trusted, it can be really painful and, like I said, like difficult to have compassion for this person. And you don't have to have compassion for them, but whoever this person is, they're not happy. Life is not enjoyable to them. They might try to act like it is, because again, it's all about ego. It's not about the reality. It's just about the front. So let's see what your gemstone says. Bismuth. Ooh, it says rewrite your code with rainbows. When to use it. For those looking for some psychedelic influence without swallowing the red pill, lie on your back and take 10 or 100 or 1,000,000 powerful breaths through your mouth with bismuth placed on your forehead. Then break out of tired gray thought patterns and get en route to a more colorful, energized life. Yeah, I think that you need to rewrite your code as it relates to this person. So maybe doing some breath therapy like that where you're breathing in and imagining that it's a certain color that you're breathing in that's very healing and refreshing and purifying. And then breathing out any of the toxic energy that relates to this person. And just continue to do that. And just let it all out. This person doesn't get to control your life anymore. You get to be that independent person with your own mind and your own life to live. You do get that. That's yours. All right, so guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was really helpful to you, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hello to everybody who chose reading number 4, which was the pyrite. So let's see what you have been neglecting. Let's see what we've got here. So we have the vine. Seek out information that will help you. The wall, misunderstanding, and bow. You are highly thought of. So I feel like there's some sort of misunderstanding that's making you not understand that someone thinks very highly of you. You're confused for some reason, thinking that they don't think highly of you, or maybe you're just worried. And, maybe you've only been looking at certain things and you haven't been looking at the entire evidence. So you're neglecting to see the whole picture here, I feel like. Let's see what else comes out. From the New Era Elements deck, we get 6 of Pentacles, success, Daughter of Air, and interference, 8 of Swords, Yeah, I think that you're definitely having some, maybe like suspicion about what someone thinks of you, feeling like someone's out to get you, but I don't feel like that's what it is. I feel like this person, they've got your back. What's that phrase that people use? Ride or die. I feel like this person is ride or die, because if the two of you found yourselves in like a difficult situation, they would be there with you, fully supporting you. Some people would be like, I'm just going to be out for myself, like this is survival of the fittest. But no, I feel like this person really does genuinely want to be helpful. They feel like your well-being is intertwined with theirs. So yes, they want you to have well-being. They do think very highly of you. They think that you're a wonderful person. And we have the vine, which says to seek out information that will help you. And then the daughter of air is also about seeking out more information. So yeah, definitely, I feel like maybe you need to, maybe it could be that some conversations are needed to be had to kind of understand more where this person's coming from. Let's see what the other cards say. This is from the Sherlock Holmes playing cards deck, and it just has Sherlock Holmes quotes on it. So this is Six of Spades, which is like Six of Swords. They say that genius is an infinite capacity for taking pains, he remarked with a smile. It's a very bad definition, but it does apply to detective work. Ooh, again, detective works. We get another thing here about like seeking out more information, looking beneath the surface to find out the truth. Genius is an infinite capacity for taking pains. Yeah, I think what the message continues to be is like something has happened with a particular person that has caused you some sort of pain. But if you allow the pain that you're feeling to lead you to seek beyond what it seems like is happening, you're actually going to find that this person really cares about you. We have the Queen of Swords, lots of feminine swords energy. Daughter of Air, Queen of Swords. Six of Pentacles coming up again. This person really cares. I just feel like it's someone who is probably not super touchy-feely, like this person might come across with a little bit of resting bitch face, or they're just not tuned in to other people's emotions. They're more of a logical, in their head type of a person, I feel like, but this person really wants the best for you, and they do try to help you as best they can. It just feels like it comes across at times that they're a bit cold and distant. It's just their personality. That it might be someone who's a little bit blunt with their words, and it comes out the wrong way, and it comes out as kind of negative or mean-spirited, but it's not. I think there was another reading that had something similar to this. It might have been reading number 1. But, okay, gentle reminders. It's from the Affirmators Family deck. I empower myself to advocate for my feelings, my well-being, and my all-around mental health. When someone pushes my buttons, a lot of confirmations here, I can oh so gently and impressively, lightheartedly remind them that this isn't my particular cup of tea. Then I can make them a nice jasmine chai so they can taste the difference. Yeah, I definitely feel like somebody has pushed your buttons, but they didn't mean to. It's just that maybe they lack certain social skills, or like I said, it's just their personality is like they're not so tuned in to people's emotions, or like the nuances of using certain words or phrasing things in a certain way. And it's kind of like, maybe you actually are more tuned into emotions, and because of that, you can be understanding that, okay, this is just this person's personality, and maybe they just need me to demonstrate to them how to be a little bit softer in your delivery so that it doesn't come across as so critical. And also you can just tell them, maybe it's instead of just seeking information, maybe you can give this person that information. Just say, hey, you remember when we had that conversation? I don't know if you're aware, but it really kind of hurt my feelings. The way you said that, it just came across like such and such. And, and just maybe having that conversation will allow that person then to respond and say, oh my gosh, no, I didn't even mean it that way at all. But having the conversation can help you to get to the heart of the matter so that this person knows in the future that if they approach, the way that they express things in a certain way with you, it's going to hurt your feelings. I think this person has no idea. We have the Six of Pentacles coming up twice. This person really cares. They want to be generous. They want to be helpful to you. They have no idea, I think, how it's really coming across. Oh, and for you guys, we had 2 of these cards. I think you might be the only deck that had that. So this says graciousness. I connect with the part of myself that makes me the most gracious guest I can be, whether popping over for lunch or staying in the basement during an extended sabbatical. I remain mindful of my impact on my family or anyone's personal space and do what I can to minimize my footprint. If only carbon emissions were this mindful, imagine what a nice time we'd be having with them. Yeah, so it's also saying, like, this is a two-way street. This person has inadvertently hurt you in some way. And, it pays to be a little bit thoughtful and think, well, maybe if our personalities and our way of expressing is so different, maybe I've expressed myself in a way that was accidentally hurtful to them. I mean, who knows? But like I said, just finding a gentle, gracious way to have the conversation about the fact this person hurt your feelings is the only way that you're really going to be able to understand each other better, so that you cannot be so hurtful to each other going forward, because I feel like you genuinely do care about each other. So then we have Akoma Natosa. This is from the Adinkra Oracle cards. One of my viewers, Ship, she sent this to me, and it's so beautiful. And the only reason that I haven't used this much in my readings is just because it's new. I do think it's a very beautiful and a beautiful deck with a lot of wisdom. So this says, this is supposed to represent an extension of the heart, and it means charter or agreement, like making a contract sort of. Connection between heart, soulmate connection, mutual love, mutual understanding, heartfelt conversations are upcoming. Whoa. Heartfelt conversations need to be had between the two of you. And it's because there is a connection between the two of your hearts, because there is this mutual love and understanding. And I know it uses the word soulmate, and a lot of people automatically think that has to do with romance. This could be anybody. Friend, family, coworker, schoolmate, whoever. But someone who you care about and who cares about you, but some sort of misunderstanding is causing a bit of a wall between the two of you right now that you definitely are going to be moving past, I feel like. So much encouragement here to just have a conversation with this person about it. And it's all going to blow over when you do that. So the next deck that I'm using is it's a steampunk tarot deck, and I can't remember the full name of it. Okay, so we have the 8 of Engines, which is like the 8 of Wands. Cyborg, which is the Devil. And the Comet, which is the Star. So we have 2 major arcana here. Let me see. So the 8 of Wands itself can represent communication that's going to come in rapidly or soon. And yeah, even in this, they're carrying bags of mail that are going to be delivered. Definitely some communication is going to be happening. And I think it's very positive communication. Like I said, you've probably been masking your feelings. You've been really hurt. You can see there's a little tear here. And this person over here too, like they're all chained up. I think it's affecting you both negatively. But maybe no one has had the courage yet to speak up about it. But it's like when you do, we have the Star card, which is like wish fulfillment and the realization of unconditional love and unconditional support. So it's just going to open you up to new horizons with this person. It's really going to expand your understanding of each other in such a very loving way. So this is very positive. The last card we have here is from the Saints and Mystics deck, and it's Helena Blavatsky, I think is how you pronounce her name, Initiations. All right, so there are 3 oracle meanings here. I'm going to read the emotionally and consciously ones. If you want to pause and just read the whole passage, of course you can do that. Emotionally, Helena instills firm resilience and a deep reserve of inner patience under extreme stress. She guides us to walk a virtuous and honest path in our spirituality, to remember our history, our ancestors, our mythologies, and ancient secrets of time. Consciously, if you are facing rough circumstances, particularly in the public arena, let Helena in to dispel further turmoil from circling around. So yeah, I feel like, again, it seems to be like a lot of the turmoil is going to be dispelled. If this has been some sort of public spat that other people know about, it's going to, all of that is going to fall by the wayside. It's not going to be such a big deal. And if it's been something that's just been private between the two of you, the same thing holds true. And it's just an extra message here of, be patient. This has been stressful, but if you're a virtuous person in your approach to them, and if you're honest about how you're feeling, this is going to resolve itself. The universe is worked and guided from within outwards. Helena Blavatsky. So, yeah, you have to have an open mind, I think, within yourself about, well, maybe I did take it the wrong way. At least it's possible, right? And if you can internally accept that it could be possible that I misunderstood them. And if I did misunderstand them, then it's really going to be in my best interest if I take that knowledge that could be possible, if I take that outwards and just have a conversation, and really get to the heart of the matter. And I think that conversation it's going to be painless. It's going to be so positive. Let's look at as well at your gemstone pyrite and see. It says, call on your core power. When to use it? On that romantic weekend away from the kids, and whenever the energy to power through feels shrouded in dark matter. So I feel like for you guys, it's more that that last one. Yeah, so call on your core power. It also says, like, pyrite is often used near the solar plexus, which is the yellow chakra. But it works wonders anywhere you need a little boost of masculine energy. For example, on the fellas, the low abdomen, just saying. I think for you guys, it's just like having the courage to really be direct with this person, because I feel like they're very direct in their communication. So they do communicate in maybe a more, stereotypically masculine way. And it's just saying, you might have to be willing to, speak their own language by being direct back with them, so that they can understand what's going on. This might be someone who doesn't really catch on to subtleties very well. And some people don't. Like, it's just part of their personality. Or if someone is on the autism spectrum, for example, like, it's not something that this person can necessarily help. It's just how they are. But I feel like if you make them aware of it, then they're definitely going to be able to approach you much differently, because they'll have that awareness that they're currently lacking. So I really hope that was helpful for you guys. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hello, for everybody who chose reading number 5, which is the chrysoprase. Let's see what it is you are neglecting. So we have key, successful outcome to your problem. We have the month of November, and we have broken wishbone, wish will not be granted. I'm a little bit perplexed. I'm going to have to pull out some of the other cards and see if we can get a little bit more information than what these tea leaf are giving us. Something related to the month of November. This deck is the New Era Elements deck. I actually really like this deck. And the reason I haven't used it is because I think it just got kind of stuck under a pile of other decks. But we have the Four of Swords Truce, the Daughter of Fire, and the Star card. Well, the Star is about wishes that are fulfilled. I feel like maybe there was a wish that you wanted to be fulfilled, but it wasn't fulfilled maybe in the timeline that you thought it would be, or you feel like you've lost your opportunity for it to be fulfilled. So you're afraid that the wish won't be granted, so maybe you're neglecting it, or you're even just kind of like giving up on some sort of dream that you've had. You're just like, okay, I guess I'll just be happy with the fact that that wish didn't come true. But you have the key. You still have the key to make it come true. So if you just give up on it, I mean, I feel like you've been kind of finding peace with it, but at the same time, if you just give up on it, then you're neglecting a true fulfillment of your hopes and dreams that you do have the power to bring about. The lighting on this is not so great. Oh well. All right, so we also have a Sherlock Holmes playing card, and it's the Three of Hearts, which is like the Three of Cups. A man always finds it hard to realize that he may have finally lost a woman's love, however badly he may have treated her. So it could be that you are feeling like you've lost out on a love that you wanted to achieve, lost out on a successful love relationship. Either because, one of you treated the other badly or something here. But I feel like the thing is you haven't necessarily lost it. Let's see more what's going on here. We get the Knave of Chalices, like the Page of Cups. This is from the Golden Tarot of Klimt, and the Ten of Pentacles. I feel like there is definitely more to this story of this wish fulfillment that you were seeking romantically with someone. Maybe you're feeling like that you dropped the ball in some way and you messed it up somehow. And you've just sort of resigned yourself. You don't want to believe that it could be over, but at a certain level, you might be feeling like, well, I might just have to give up hope on that. But I feel like there's some sort of, there's some, because the Ten of Pentacles is like a long-term connection. I don't feel like this connection is over. And if you have done something hurtful, maybe you were upset and you spoke meanly to them, and now you're feeling like you've ruined it or something along those lines, this person still cares about you. They do have a spirit of compassion and understanding. The month of November might be significant for you all in some way. One of you might be born in November. Maybe you had a particular event that happened between the two of you in November. But I feel like this is something that can be overcome. I don't think that it's over. And we have Affection. This is from the Affirmators Family deck. Another one of my decks that I don't use very much, but it's a cute deck. I like all of the Affirmators decks. And this one can be applied not just to family issues. It's just more about relating to people interpersonally, really. So it says, I feel my love fully and express it generously. There's no harm in saying, I love you, and nothing bad has ever come from a hug. That's a matter of historical record. Go check on it if you'd like. In the meantime, I'll be waiting here with open arms. See where I'm going with this? So I feel like you both still kind of have open arms for each other. And, maybe it was the opposite of saying something mean. Maybe you felt like you professed your love too much and you messed it up somehow that way. Or you're feeling like, well, I said those mean things and now I may never have an opportunity to apologize. I feel like you're being reassured that there is going to be another opportunity. There's like a very stable feeling here. Like you're going to have opportunities to repair this. And then we have Duafe, wooden comb, a symbol of beauty and hygiene. And this is from the Adinkra Oracle cards that one of my viewers sent to me. And it's just, I've just gotten it very recently, so I haven't gotten to use it much just for that reason. I think it's a very beautiful deck with a lot of wisdom. And on the back it says, feminine goodness, love, care, and compassion. Symbol depicts abstract qualities of feminine goodness, motherly nature, and beauty. Yeah, this person is still very romantically attracted to you, and they have a lot of love for you, and they know that that love is returned. I think it's just sort of a matter of time of the two of you kind of figuring it out. This is a steampunk deck, and I can't remember the full name of it. But we have the Seven of Submersibles, which is like the Seven of Cups. Messenger of Airships, like Page of Swords, and then the Two of Airships, Two of Swords. Yeah, there's been some emotional confusion here. You know, confusion or emotions have been very confused, I should say. Let me look at this card up a little closer. Okay. Yeah, I feel like, you know, this is like an underwater ship or something, like looking for treasure down here. I feel like you know that there is an emotional treasure still to be recovered with this person. The treasure isn't lost. You know, it may have been lost. It was lost at some time, you know, like a sunken treasure ship. It's lost at a point in time, but then it can be recovered. And I think, again, this is just a reminder that this is a recovery that can happen. And I feel like the two of you, you know, there's been some maybe stressful communication here, but you can come to a place of greater peace and understanding. I think that you definitely will come to understand each other better. So your guides just don't want you to give up on this. You know, if you need to take more time, that's fine. If that's what you need to do to be prepared to eventually turn that key and find your success here, that may be part of the recipe, you know. Time is maybe a necessary ingredient, but your guides want you to be resilient here. They don't want you to give up, even though you have experienced heartbreak, right? You've been hurt. So this is from the Saints and Mystics deck, and it's Saint Sebastian, Resilience. Let me get the book for this. All right, so I'm going to read the oracle meanings. I think all three oracle meanings apply. In the other readings so far, they haven't all seemed to apply, but I'm going to read all of those. And if you want to pause this and read the entire passage and learn more about Saint Sebastian, of course you can do that. So emotionally, Saint Sebastian provides his energy to soothe the emotional parts of our being, pulling us back from the depths of grief, which I feel with that Seven of Cups you have experienced with this person. You've been trying to find your peace with it, though. He can instill courage when all seems lost and builds a pillar of faith that illuminates from within when our foundations seem to lose ground. Yeah, because you do have firm foundations with this person. I think because it has been so emotionally taxing for you, sometimes it just feels like all is lost. Saint Sebastian is able to remove psychic shards lodged within the body's aura, pulling out toxicity directed or misguided, accelerate the speed of recovery, and strengthen intuitive abilities. So there may be still a need to continue to heal. Like I said, so maybe there is more time that is required before this wish fulfillment with this person can take place. And then it says, consciously, he operates quietly yet boldly, improving a succinct flow of energy exactly where we need it most. He reminds us that no matter how many times we are beaten or shot down in the flow of life, we are the soldiers of our essence, and the heart always rises again. So we can never lose touch with our heart, and this person cares about you and loves you, and you're never going to lose that either. All right, so let's finally wrap it up by looking at your gemstone card here. Chrysoprase. Oh, Grow from the heart out. Grow from your heart out. In essence of love, I rise again. Nice. When to use it? When it's time to forgive that person who hurt you most, your parents, and most of all, yourself. You are not a doormat. You are an evolved being. When you feel like giving up on love, Chrysoprase gives you the green light to keep going. So lots of synchronicities here that you should not be giving up on love. Do not neglect love. And you know, maybe for some of you, you won't end up with this person, but I still feel like there's more to the story, and definitely you should not give up on love itself. Giving up on love, thinking that love isn't possible or that you're not lovable, that it does so much damage to your soul. You know, talking here about psychic shards lodged within the body's aura. Yeah, when you stop believing in love, it really damages you to the core of your soul. And you may not realize it, but it will fester and cause so many problems for you. So your heart may have been pierced, but it's no reason to give up on love. In essence of love, I rise again. All right, so guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that was really helpful to you, and I'll see you around. Bye, guys. Welcome to everyone who chose reading number 6, which was the Sodalite. Let's see what it is you are neglecting. So first we have Haystack, Karma, you will reap what you have sown. Archway, new opportunities, possibilities, and paths opening up. And then Turkey, someone is behaving stupidly. So there's definitely some sort of opportunity, a very positive opportunity, a path that's opening up for you. And it would be a little bit unwise. We're not going to say stupid, but it would not be in your best interest to not sow that opportunity. You reap what you sow. And so if you let this opportunity pass you by, maybe it's an opportunity that you've been passing by. Maybe you've passed by this pathway many times, and every time you've thought, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not ready. Let's see what else. We have the Moon. Definitely there are some fears, I feel like, holding you back from taking advantage of some opportunity. We get this, well, in this deck, in most decks, the 8 of the major arcana is the Strength card. In this one, it's Justice. Some tarot decks switch around the Justice and the Strength and make Strength the 11th card. But anyway, so we have the Moon, we have Justice, and then we have Four of Wands, Perfection. Yeah. So you definitely have some sort of like really powerful skill or talent, I feel like, that you're perhaps not making full use of. And part of it might be that you have some sort of perfectionistic tendencies, you know, and, you know, there's nothing that will, it's ironic, but there's nothing that will lead to failure quicker than perfectionism, because you know, some people can get this idea that if I can't do it perfectly, then I just don't want to do it at all. And the thing is, how often can you do something perfectly ever? And even if you just think, I don't want to, if I can't do it excellently, then I don't want to do it at all. Well, people don't get to the point of excellence unless they test themselves, right? I think that you've been trying to find a balance here because you know that it's going to be difficult to face your fears. Maybe there are particular aspects of taking advantage of this opportunity and utilizing this skill or talent that you have that you know is going to lead you into some uncertain situations. And to a certain extent, it could also just be fear of the unknown that's holding you back. And then we have from this Sherlock Holmes playing card deck, the 3 of Clubs, which is like the 3 of Wands. Mediocrity knows nothing higher than itself, but talent instantly recognizes genius. Yeah, so I think you guys, you're such perfectionists, and because you are so talented, you look around you and you see these other people who you're thinking of like as like geniuses or like experts or people who like, gosh, they have so much to offer. That's because you yourself are talented. You can recognize their level of genius because in whatever area this is that you are talented in, you possess your own talent, so you can recognize it when you see it. You know, like if you were mediocre at this, then you might just go ahead and think, oh, I'm the best. You know, nobody can be better than me. But I think it's the very fact that you're sort of doubting that you're as good as other people, you know, according to this card. And the title of the book or the story that it's coming from is The Valley of Fear. You know, this fear, if she allows her fear to take control, what's going to happen to her? She's going to dip down into the valley. She's going to fall off of this rope because it will be difficult to stay balanced and move forward in a balanced fear if her, in a balanced way rather, if she's allowing her fear to take control. She has to believe that she can get to the end of this tightrope. Is it difficult? Yes. Are there some unknowns? Yes. Is it possible that she can fall? Yes. But she has to believe that she can and will succeed. The more that she can believe in herself, the more that she will succeed. So we also have the Queen of Wands, also a very talented sort of a card. Queen of Wands and the Magician. These are from the Golden Tarot of Klimt. Yeah. You know that you're talented, you know. I mean, I don't think that you necessarily see yourself as mediocre, but you're definitely doubting yourself, you know. This fear is keeping you from it, but you know you have something to offer, and you know that you have what it takes to succeed. And yet, the fear seems to be taking control a little bit. We have, from the Affirmators Family deck, we have Forgiveness. I welcome the healing power of humility into my heart and release my ninja caliber death grip on any familial grudges or grudges against anyone, not just family, that I've been clinging to. It doesn't matter who is right, wrong, or completely insane. Forgiveness is the only way to move forward with love. And to be honest, I don't want to move forward with anything else. So some of you might also be held back because other people have perhaps criticized you or talked down about this particular opportunity or made you feel like you weren't worthy of it. So one way that you can sort of release the fear is also sort of like releasing the power of what someone has made you feel is true about yourself, that you are unworthy or something like that. So that in and of itself allows some of that fear to fall away because someone has maybe treated you in such a way that inspired this fear in you. And then we have, this is from the Adinkra Oracle cards. I love this deck, and it's just new to me, and that's the only reason I haven't used it in much of my readings yet. And it says, so this particular symbol is called Sipao. It's the executioner's knife, and it says a symbol of justice, which is interesting because we already had the justice card come up. The father figure, the boss, the one who is always in charge. It is his way or the highway. It could indicate your father, boss, or a man in your life that displays these dominant traits. Are you being too stubborn? Do you need to step up and take charge? So yeah, there might be, for some of you, like the reason that you're holding back on taking advantage of this opportunity as well might be some sort of concern with what your family will think of it as well, that your family just might disapprove of you. Maybe it's not that they don't believe in you. It could just be like you're fearing their disapproval or something. But again, this is what you're neglecting, you know. Your guides don't want you to neglect this opportunity. You would be like this little turkey if you did that. All right, so this is a steampunk tarot deck, and I can't remember the exact name of it. This is the Explorers, which is their version of the Lovers card. Seven of Leviathans, which I believe is the Seven of Pentacles. And the 5 of Leviathans. Yeah, so it's time to make a choice, right? The 7 of Pentacles is all about, we've put a lot of time and energy into something. So whatever this talent is, you put time and energy into it, and yet still there's some opportunity as it relates to that you are not taking. Out of some sort of fear of lack with the 5 of Pentacles. Maybe it's even a fear of your own power. You just keep walking away from this opportunity. So it's just time to evaluate. You know, what do you really want to do with your life? Do you really, do you want to make the most of it? You have a lot to offer other people. Do you want to deny them what it is that you have to offer? Now this card also has the number 777 on it, and 777 is a number that indicates adversity that actually leads towards positive outcomes. It's a card of miracles, really. So I feel like if you've gone through some difficult times in your life, this is a strong message that you are actually about to see sort of a miracle. And if you want to embrace that miracle, you're going to have to seize upon an opportunity that's being presented. It's the jackpot. You've hit the jackpot. Are you just going to leave that jackpot laying there, you know? You've pulled the lever on that, I don't know what they're called, those casino machines, and it pops up 777 and all of those tokens start pouring out. Are you just going to leave them there? It's a blessed opportunity. It's a miracle. And you've had to struggle in life. You've had to go through a lot. So why would you, now that the blessing is showing up, now that you're getting your just rewards, why would you leave it behind? You know, you deserve that. You've worked hard for it. Respect, Marie Laveau. Respect yourself. Respect your power. This is from the Saints and Mystics deck. Let me get out the Oracle book for this one. All right, so I'm just going to read. There are 3 Oracle meanings, the emotionally, spiritually, and consciously. I'm going to read the emotionally and consciously ones because I feel like they relate most directly, but I think spiritually it does too. So if you want to pause and read all of this for yourself, you can. But emotionally, Marie assists in balancing aggression and anger and transforms toxic energies into healthy forms of passion, creativity, and strength. She makes no apologies and accepts 0 excuses. She is the mother that walks you through the door towards your greatest lessons, but also gives the hardest tests. She will not complete work for you. You know, if you want to take advantage of this opportunity, you have to take it. Nobody else can do that for you. But rather, clear the path and set the room for your own magic to rise from its waiting coil. There is a waiting coil here. There's something that wants to rise within you. You just have to take advantage of it. Consciously, Marie Laveau empowers the importance of hard work, which I feel like you've already done, and so why wouldn't you want to reap the rewards of that? Hard work, confidence, and pride in your foundations. You know, be proud of yourself. She reminds us to not rely on shortcuts in life, which I don't feel that you're doing. You're not relying on shortcuts. You're just passing by this path over and over again. You're actually doing the opposite of taking a shortcut. She teaches you to be bold in your soul's unique rhythm. Never apologize for your truth or power or your success or the opportunities that have been presented to you because you worked so hard and you've earned those opportunities. Marie's spirit allows you to take responsibility and pride in your life and all that your heart leads you to do. So, there we go. So, let's actually finish up with your gemstone, which was sodalite. See what the message is there. It says, deepen your intuition. When to use it. When you have a big decision to make, when you're 99% finished with a project but can't get your head around the last 1%, which I think is kind of what's going on here. You've put a lot of effort into developing yourself with some sort of talent, and but it's like you don't want to take that last step, which is where your biggest rewards are going to be. This opportunity that's being presented. It says, seriously, don't give up. Meditate with sodalite. Abandon solution-oriented thinking. Surrender to your intuition and watch your problem get solved from someplace much deeper. Yeah, so you're someone who has something to produce. You have something that you need to be offering the world. And it could be that getting more in touch with your intuition, which requires you to move past fear. A lot of people mistake fear for an intuition, which could be happening with you. You're afraid that you won't be successful, or you're afraid of the unknown if you take this pathway, but you've already taken all these other pathways, and maybe they didn't lead you quite where you wanted. So maybe it's time to take this unknown path that you haven't taken yet, because it's an opportunity. And when you move beyond fear, you'll get to the heart of what your intuition is really telling you, what it's been telling you throughout the entire course of this reading, which is you need to take that step. You need to take this path. And just if it's hard for whatever reason, don't judge yourself. Just take one step at a time. Take one step and then take the other step and just keep going. Don't give up. So guys, I hope that this has been a helpful message for you. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you around. Bye guys.